I would spend the rest of my life in jail because I would pulverize them.
Chuck Norris, you and any good parent would. You brought up during the break what you're really upset about. I said, what's most concerning? You talked about California's trying to pass laws to restrict homeschooling. Germany arrests you if you won't send your children to their indoctrination.
Yeah, they've actually pulled children out of homeschool. They're trying to keep you from having homeschool there in Germany. And I've read blogs where parents have gone to jail because they would not let their kids go to a public school and learn about the homosexuality and free sex, and how to do it. I mean, what's our world coming to, Alex? It's so depressing, to see the decadence that's going on, not only in our country but all over the world.
Well, whatever happened to innocence, just leaving kids alone to have a good time and not turn them into adults or not turn them into perverts? Look at this.
At 12 years of age.
Guys, punch up Maurice Strong. I want people to see that quote. You talked about how they want to destroy our society. Maurice Strong, the head of the UN Environment Program, involved with the Oil for Food program. He's now been indicted. He's in trouble. He said, is it the only hope for the planet that the industrial civilizations collapse? Isn't it our responsibility to bring that about? He said that in 92 at the UN. He said carbon taxes are to destroy the economy. They want to bankrupt the economy and make us dependent on them. And that's everything you're fighting against, Chuck, and that's what's so exciting.
That's what they want to do here. They want to bankrupt our economy here in the United States and then come with a universal coin, universal money, international money, and take away the dollar we have here in America, and everyone use the international currency. And I see that just like North Korea. North Korea just implemented changing the currency there. Well, that's what's going to happen universally if we don't do something about it.
Chuck, in closing, let me ask you this. I've had a lot of national media here the last week, and I play them clips of the head of the EU, head of the UN calling for global government, Al Gore. I give them the treaty, the Copenhagen Treaty that states global government, a 2% tax on everything, which they're now promoting, Pelosi and others are, all these other taxes, and they tell me it doesn't exist. That's a mind game, isn't it?
It's all a mind game, Alex. It's all a mind game. And they're saying, well, we want to help the poor countries. We have poor people in our own country. A lot of our kids, our inner city kids, they won't have a Christmas this year because they have no money. And the thing is, why aren't we helping the poor in our own country and helping them be able to enjoy the luxuries of what we have in this country? This is what irritates the heck out of me. Is all the money we send overseas trying to help them out, and they don't even appreciate it. Let's give it to the people in our own country.
Well, I agree, Chuck Norris, but
Alex.
But Chuck, it's worse. The eugenicists, the White House science czar, they say the carbon taxes are about starving the third world. These carbon cuts in the treaty will just kill millions of starvation a year conservatively.
Yeah. Well, I just believe charity begins at home, and I just hope the people see what is going on, and just not sit home and say, well, whatever happens, it will happen. It's not the way it should be, and I'm very concerned about it. It's almost like if you do it, I'll do it. No, you do it first, and then I'll do it. It's like no one will step up unless someone else does. But I really believe that we, the United States, have to start leading by example.
We do. Chuck Norris. Okay, finishing up with the legend, Chuck Norris. There's two people we can say really are a legend. The best-selling book is the official Chuck Norris Fact Book. You can get it for $12.99 at Amazon.com or even less. Great stocking stuffer. And all the proceeds of that go to a really good cause. And that, of course, is the Kickstart program with youth all over the country. And you do teach them discipline, teach them self-respect, teach them self-control. It really does save a lot of lives. And it's so important, all the great things Chuck Norris is doing. Okay, Chuck, finishing up with that point you got cut off. Obama, you talk about him wanting a dictatorship. Clearly, they are setting one up. Clearly, he's setting up a domestic police force he's called for. You talk about revolution. How do we get the people to stand up and say no so it doesn't get to that point?
Well, the thing is, right now, leadership in our country is very scarce. I think two leaders that I look up to is Ron Paul and Mike Huckabee. You know, and Mike Huckabee has a voice now on Fox, and it's really showing because the polls are saying that he is by far the leading candidate for the Republican ticket in 2012. I really think, and, you know, being with Mike Huckabee for 5 months campaigning for him, I saw him as a man of integrity and honesty, and really a very intelligent man. And he, you know, when on that tour, he never had a teleprompter. He never had notes. He never had anything. He talked right from his heart, Alex. And that was very impressive.
Now, I saw the media confronting him with that made-up thing about that nut that the parole board said let out. Well, and he was just so slick talking.
Yeah, but the thing is, I mean, as he explained, that was 10 years ago. The kid was 16 years old, and all he committed was burglary. You know, he didn't assault anyone. He didn't kill anyone. It was strictly a burglary.
Well, it does show the media is scared of Huckabee. That's why
they're scared of him. They're scared of him. And, you know, but the guy did fall between the cracks because those judges in Washington let him out after he'd committed those heinous crimes. And that was where the failure was in Washington.
Well, Chuck, we're going to let you go because I know you've got a newspaper interview coming up. But on the subject of Huckabee, he has been coming out now and talking about the New World Order. He said it's a bad thing. And I think it's becoming more acceptable now to tell the truth about the UN and the globalists and George Soros, thanks to you and others speaking out. But I have no doubt that we're going to defeat the New World Order, having Chuck Norris on our side.
Well, we're going to survive 3 more years, Alex, and then we're going to have Mike Huckabee as president and Ron Paul as Secretary of the Treasury. And that way we'll keep things honest in our country.
Thank you so much, Chuck Norris, for joining us. We'll talk to you next year.
Okay, buddy. Bye-bye.
God bless. Okay, there goes Chuck Norris. Take care, sir. Well, that was a fun interview with Chuck Norris. What about a Huckabee-Ron Paul ticket? Look, Huckabee's not perfect, but compared to George Bush and Barack Obama, my gosh, anything's good. Oh, my gosh. You know, I'm just glad that Chuck Norris is going around speaking out against the New World Order. He's going on national TV, and when Sean Hannity said, oh, well, Ron Paul's a kook, Ron Paul's a nut, he said, well, good, I'm a nut too, I like him. You know, he didn't betray him. He didn't, wasn't a doubting Thomas. He didn't throw Ron Paul under the bus. And Chuck Norris has come a long way waking up to the New World Order. Just like Jesse Ventura's come a long way. You know, talking to Chuck Norris, he talked about how over 10 years ago he heard my show and liked it in Texas. And Chuck knows a lot more than he's letting on, I'll tell you that. So he's certainly coming along, not just in his knowledge, but what he's willing to talk about. But he certainly does like Mike Huckabee.